Hello, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at how you can mail merge letters using Microsoft Office Word. I'm in the online version right now. I have this link and I'll put it in the comments, but it just shows kind of Microsoft's details on how to do this. I'll go ahead and go through the steps with you. I just wanted to note too that you do need the actual desktop version, not the Office 365 like here. For example, if I go up here and search mail merge, it'll say looking for mail merge and then say open in the desktop app. So it'll be letters and mailings in Word 2003 and earlier, and then in 2007 and later, it should be start mail merge. I'm using 2019. Hopefully you're using one of those versions that's similar. If it's earlier or even later, it might look a little bit different, but hopefully the steps will still apply for you. I'm also hoping no one's using a 2003 or earlier. That's impressive if you have something that's still running that. Before we begin, I just want to explain what mail merge is. Mail merge is a way to allow you to take records from an Excel or spreadsheet document and have each record or row be placed in a specific part of a letter. The most common ways would be like dear insert name and have that first name, last name, whatever I'm writing to you about, and then you can have a subject. And that lets you print off the same letter template, but inject those names or those different data fields into it so it's more personalized or specific to whatever you need. This could be used for invoices, and you can have person's name and the amount due. It could be a personal letter for like a wedding and saying, different things like you're welcome to stay here or there, or thank you for insert gift. It can be many, many different things. In this example, we're going to look at sending a letter about grades to families. And while the letter isn't exactly great format, I wouldn't send it out. The main focus of this is using those mail merge to put different data fields inside that letter. The first step before you even open up and create that letter would be to have your data organized in a specific way that makes sense for this. In this spreadsheet, I have the different data fields here. I'll go ahead and bold them. They're the header rows, and this shows what is inside of that. It is very important you have a clear name for each one, because this is what you're going to use to merge those within your letters. In this example, we have the grade kind of number. We have the section, like the homeroom they would be in, first name, last name, the full name. We have letter grade, so that's the grade that they have, and then the notes on it. Finally, I have grade words. That would just be a little bit better, instead of saying you're a student in 1, you could say you're a student in first grade. That, just looks a little bit nicer. Make sure that you have your data organized in a way like this. I might even, for example, just delete some of this in like this one so we can just kind of see what happens if something's missing. So, we'll see that later. So I'm just going to push save. The other thing is there are 2 sheets on this one, mail data and sheet 1. You can have multiple sheets like that, and we'll show you what that looks like in there. You can also just have one, like for example, using a comma separated instead of an Excel file. So I did hit save, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this one out. Now I'm going to go to the Word document inside the desktop application. So here I have this letter, and instead of printing this off and just writing each individual name, grade, and so on, I want to populate data into these different areas. What you can do is go to mailings. Inside here, you can see different options, and we're going to just do start mail merge. It'll have a drop down and go by to step-by-step merge wizard. Then on the right-hand side, you'll have this mail merge option. For this example, we're using letters. You can make them email messages, envelopes, labels, or a directory. You can explore those on your own, or check out some other videos if and when I make more. Hit next. Here, you can use the current document, start from a template, or an existing document. I'm going to use the current document. So hit next. Here, we're going to select the recipients. You could do it from contacts, a new list, or an existing list. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to browse for this spreadsheet. Now, as it opens up, it's going to go from the data source. I'm going to go to my downloads, and here I have the data I want, which is the mail merge data. I'm going to press open. Now, this is where I was talking about there's sheet 1 and mail data. So in this one, I do want the mail data rather than this one. The first row of data is the headers, so I want this to be there. If you don't have headers, you can deselect it. Press OK. And now when we're inside here, we can see the different options that we have here. You can get all of your data ready inside of your spreadsheet, like filtering or sorting it. But here you actually can do that same thing. Maybe for the office, it makes more sense to organize it by grade, then by grade section, and perhaps last name. So if you want to do something like that, you can sort it. You can sort by whichever one first. So maybe grade, then grade section. That might be a little redundant, but we'll do that just in case. Then maybe last name. Press OK. And now you can see the data has been sorted in this way. It could also be if you're missing data here, you might not want some of those ones that have missing last names. What you could do is you can filter and say the field of last name not equal to or less than, greater than, is blank. It'll filter out everything except for the blank values. In this case, you actually want to have everything that is not blank to filter out the one missing value. Now we have full with the last names. And you could put that in for the entire options. I'm going to go back to this and just so that we can see what it does, I'm going to actually delete these. Filters, none. Push OK. And now I have this null one again. And we can take a look at it. Another option is you can unselect specific ones too. This is mostly ready here. Another thing that you could decide to do if you wanted to or use this filter is you could say like, let's filter on the grade and only show first grade. That way you just print first grade and that's it, no other grades. Here, I'm gonna do all of the grades, grade 1 all the way down to 6. They're sorted as I want to. And so now we're ready to get started with this mail merge. When you write your record, it's going to ask you, write your letter, which we already did. Now to add the different information, you can have address box, greeting lines, electronic postage, etc. These ones kind of need a specific way, like the greeting line, dear person, comma, and it can look different. I don't want to use that in this case just because I have the spots already. So it's going to actually be more items. So I'm just going to click to this spot here. I'm going to press more items. And now I have the different fields that I can use. So I want to the parent guardian of, and I could do first name, last name, or I could do full name. Let's go ahead and just do first name. And I'm just going to double click, last name, double click. And then I'm going to close out. So I did remove that comma too, so I'm just going to put a comma there. I'm going to add a space here. And you can see that there are those two little arrows and then the end one. And if I highlight a little bit, you can see that the entire thing is there. So these are the fields that whenever it sees this field, it's going to, instead of have first name here, take the first record of first name and then make the letter. This letter is to inform you that your student has received. And then I'm going to put more items. And then I want the letter grade. Close. Now I'm going to put a space here just to make sure. And it looks like we have a space there. Here, let's see if I can just highlight this part. As their letter grade in grade word. This means the student, and this is where I want the notes in the subject area. Close. We have these here. I'm just going to go to preview. Here we're at number 36, which is the one that was missing some information. So this is where you might want to, remove these records because it has received blank, there's nothing there. Again, you probably want to remove this one record, but I'm just going to go to one that it does work. Other options you can do is you can actually highlight these fields, and that'll just help you see what is being merged, because that, you can tell some parts are missing and it just doesn't read correctly. You can also adjust how this looks. You can bold it, underline it. You might want to, bold these ones. You can even switch the type, like have it larger or smaller or different format. Depending on what you have, and this would be without the highlighted, this can read a little bit easier. You can, of course, rewrite how this is. This isn't like that great of a letter, but again, gets the job done for this example. As long as you like the look of this and you're ready, you can do complete the merge. So you can choose to either print or you can edit individual. Print will just send this letter as well as all records to your printer. If you do edit individual letters, it's going to make a copy of this and essentially put it for every single record that you have. So if I do edit individual, it'll go to which records, and you could, of course, switch from a certain amount. You can just do one record or all. So in this case, let's do all. So I'm going to press OK. Now it's opened letter 1, and here I have all of these different letters referring to all these different students. One thing I noticed here, now that I've, of course, made this large one, is I did not highlight this needs improvement or, that different notes section. So, there might be some more adjusting. I'll just leave it here, but now you have this merged and you can edit if there are certain things that you want to do. For a mistake like that, I wouldn't want to go through and individually, bold these when I can just rerun the report. But again, if you notice like, oh, this one, I want this a little bit smaller font, so it's, all here, you can adjust those individual records. It's not as big of a deal in this case. It would be if something, moves this down, so then it, ends up taking 2 like this. That's where I might individually edit it. Yeah, you can kind of get the picture. So there's a lot of different applications for this, and it's very, very helpful to be able to just quickly put these in, print it, and have all these personalized letters. Again, using it with emails, using it for labels, and so much more. Getting started with mail merge is going to save a lot of time if you've ever handwritten these or put in time to customize these different type of options you've used. Hopefully you find this helpful, and hopefully this will find some uses within your profession. Thanks for watching, and be sure to do the like, subscribe, all of those different YouTube things for more content. Bye now.